Listen, a teenage defendant just got hit with 25 years. Not probation, not another chance, not he's just a kid. 25 years. In the courtroom, family crying, lawyers begging, shock everywhere. They can't believe that a violent criminal of adult age is going to get treated like an adult. But the judge on this one didn't flinch. And today, we're going to talk about why that moment right there might be the turning point this country needs. Welcome, guys, everybody. Welcome to the Gemini Lounge, where we don't run from the truth, we confront it. And today, we're talking about something special or something that people are scared to say out loud because that's what we about, the elephant in the room. We went too soft. For years, judges, politicians, activists all pushed this idea. Give them another chance. Don't be too harsh. They're just children, they're young. Meanwhile, cities were getting worse. Violence got bolder. And accountability just disappeared. Accountability became some kind of racism or some kind of oppression for actually being held accountable for what you have done. Let's be clear about the case we're going to take a look at, okay? This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't kids being kids. This was aggravated assault and robbery. Caught on camera, victimized a working person, pleaded guilty. This wasn't potential danger. This was real harm. And what did the defense want? Like they always do. What did the politicians want? What did the mama want? Probation. Let that sink in. A violent crime on tape. And the expectation was let him go. Again, welcome to the Gemini Lounge, man. We're going to take a look at this case here. And you guys tell me, did the judge get it right? Did the judge do the right thing? Let me see if I can get it on the. There we go. Let's take a look. As we can see,
Are you
look at that.
Caden
Yes.
Fontanet? And this is 25 DCCR 1759. Mr. Fontanet was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the first-degree felony offense of aggravated robbery. It was an unagreed plea. I've received the pre-sentence report. Have you both had an opportunity to review that report?
We have, Your Honor. The state has, Judge.
Are there any additions or corrections to the report?
Not from the defense, not from the state, Judge.
And Mr. Coleman, you said you have a witness or some evidence.
Actually, Judge, Mr. Rojas has graciously stipulated to the admission of the surveillance video from the convenience store in question.
Okay.
I need to call my custodian record with the court's permission. First.
Any other evidence or witnesses?
So, Judge, just brief argument if I may.
Any other evidence or witnesses for Mr. Rojas?
No, Your Honor, just like.
Mr. Rojas, you may make argument first.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Judge. And obviously, after seeing that video, it makes what we're asking for harder to do. Uh, and what we're here asking for this morning, Judge, is probation. Uh, and
Look at the judge's eyes shifting, man. She's like, "Are you out your mind, sir?" I listen, man. I know that defense attorneys have to play that role. I am aware of that. That's part of our system. But I'm just amazed sometimes that like defense attorneys can really get on, like get in front of people and actually justify some of the things that they're asking for. I would have asked like they before. I'm thinking at some point in time they would ask for like a light sentence, but they'll come in the courtroom and straight up ask for probation over and over and over.
uh, Mr. Fonnes, he is a young offender. I know the court is tired of hearing the same story over and over
All right.
again, guys, with guns in here. He's got a limited criminal history. I believe this is his first felony. He's never been on any kind of felony supervision or felony probation.
Not that he was not in trouble. He's just this is his first felony according to this defense attorney.
Unfortunately, he's just fallen into the same situation that we see so many other youthful offenders fall into. He's got no direction in life. He's very little support at home, no way out of the situation that he's in. So he goes and decides to rob a store and get some money. Did the wrong thing. and if his story in the PSI is to be believable for what I believe is the right reason. He's trying to help his mom at home. He's trying to pay some bills, keep the lights on. Certainly there are better.
Oh Lord, we have to. It's one thing looking at shiesty defense attorneys make these type of statements and arguments, but what has blown my mind is you now have everyone on the left side of society making these same claims. These dudes did not run in that store with that big weapon, putting it in people's faces, throwing people around because they were trying to help their mama feed. This is like out of a comic book. I mean, I can't even believe this defense attorney said this out loud. I mean, guys, but this has been working for the last so many years. This same rhetoric, this young man who I don't have any care, sympathy, or empathy for, because I grew up probably poorer than this man, and I never resorted to that stuff. And I'm not trying to. Yeah, I'm saying I'm better than you. I made a better decision. Like there's something wrong with you, young man, that you out here doing what we just saw on the video. And I can't believe that grown-ups in society have chosen, for whatever reason. I get that. I guess the defense attorney is the only one I can really excuse because he has to come up with a defense. And there really ain't a defense for a lot of the crimes that a lot of these guys defend. So it's going to look silly, the things coming out of these defense attorneys' mouths. But when you hear your local politicians saying the same thing, when you hear the reverend saying the same thing, when you hear judges saying the same thing, that's when things get frightening. Let's keep going.
Ways to go about doing that. And I hope that the time in jail is taught Mr. Fontaine said. We've got options here, Judge. We can send him to prison or we can put him on probation. Certainly he's on the road if this conduct continues, he's on the road with prison. I don't know that the day is the best time to make that exit for him.
Why do you think today is not the best time? What day would be better for you, sir, to sentence this dude to prison who pulled out a very big and frightening weapon and ran in the store with a crew of dudes, put the weapon to people's faces, throwing people around? What day is that? And I think we're going to hear a little bit more when the judge speaks about it's not even just this incident. It goes further.
He's got a long life to live. We can send him to prison. He can be there for a few years and come back out. I don't know that he's going to get the help that he really needs in prison. There are programs available on probation that if he's serious about turning his life around, like he says in the PSI, those programs can help him. And if he does take advantage of those, it in turn would make the community a little bit safer.
I never thought I'd be a time in my life. I must be getting old where I'm over here waiting on the prosecutor to come out there. He looked like he's ready for a boxing match. The prosecutor, he looked like he's ready. He's sick and tired of this garbage. And I'm glad they have a black man there because I think what's going on in this liberal white world, they think by punishing people who hurt other black people that somehow you're hurting all black people. These liberal whites have gotten to this point where maybe because they're not affected as much, but they feel like letting crime run rampant in black communities is a sign of progression, a sign of caring, a sign of saying, oh, we understand, but we understand that you're going through a lot. So when your children, also, I'm not going to ignore the fact that this feminist movement, the only men who seem to get anything out of feminism are criminal men. The children of these single mothers, these communities that are just raising these men with no type of emotional valves. They're out of control emotionally. They have no boundaries, yet their mothers are probably always talking about boundaries. No, I threw that in there, man, because another elephant in the room is that most of these young men like this that are doing stuff like this, at least in my community, they're coming straight out of your single mother home. No doubt about it. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'd bet you it's in the 75 to 80 percentile of like these type of criminals, idiotic criminals are coming straight from your nearest single mother's home.
This guy could run around with a gun when he does get out of prison, if that was the road that you chose to take. Planned on living at home with his mom. I think he has some younger siblings there. To his benefit, before he was even arrested, he started a GED. I think on the night that this happened, he had just finished a GED class and made a dumb decision to go hang out with these guys that he should not have been hanging out with. and did this robbery.
Hey, if this defense attorney doesn't do well in law, I think he would be a great Democratic Party candidate. I mean, he's got the script all memorized. He's basically nailing point for point by point how Democrats defend this type of stuff. But I want to just remind you people, I am an FBA black man, family been here for hundreds of years, a true blue American black man, bro. Even with my problems within my country, I am still a real American, not a new immigrant, not somebody that just got here. And I want to stress to any white liberal progressive so-called Democrat loyalists and all you kind of shucking and jiving black dudes that are so loyal to the Democratic Party that you think somehow letting out dudes like this to run rampant in black communities isn't the worst thing you can do to the black community. I mean, I wish some of you, conservative sided people would understand. Like these children are being bred by liberal policies to become the savages that we see on the streets. It's not even almost their fault. And I do have some type of empathy for the young men. Not once they do the crime. Once they do the crime, they do the time as far as I'm concerned. But I wish there was a way we could do better things before they make this stupid decision. You thought you was gonna run into a store with a big weapon, do all of that. You know there's cameras everywhere, and you thought you was gonna get away with it. What did you get out of that store? These are emotional decisions and I'm not saying all black men are right. There's a lot of us been raised by single mothers. We ain't no better than her. But there are still enough real black men out there that we could talk to these young men. And I don't mean as your counselor or some government program. I mean as the father of that child, as the husband of that child's mother. I'm not trying to go help random kids that I don't got any connection to. And that's what these Democrats and these feminists are pushing. Hey, come help my kid just because. Well, hey, it takes a village. No, that is not a village. That's your child. Okay, stop asking the world to care about your grown man child.
Again, Judge, you've got two options. You can send him to prison, or you can try to get him some
I
help
choose
on
option
probation, and hopefully he will take advantage of that. And certainly
won't.
if he doesn't, we're going to know pretty quick, and you'll have another chance to send him to prison probably for a longer time.
Let's do it now. Let's do it now.
All right, thank you. What is the status of the other two? Are there co-defendants? Have they been charged?
They have been charged, Judge, and I have both of their cases.
And they have not been sentenced yet or
No,
anything like that?
no,
Okay.
Judge.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Coleman.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Whether it's the Pine Club Apartments or Rogers Park or a Speedy Mart, you've seen this, and we've seen this in this community all too often. I'm preaching to the choir, Judge. Prayer vigils and advisory committees, all that stuff's fine, but you judge where the rubber meets the road.
That's right.
You are that person that can protect the community.
I want you to watch the body language of the defendant. Like you see the emotions of this man. He is not taking accountability in any way, as the prosecutor is going to clearly lay out, and the judge already knows. But watch the defendant's body language. He is glaring the prosecutor down as the prosecutor reads him and tells him the truth. This man, you could tell right there off that interaction, he is not equipped for any. And again, why do we in society have to care about this random dude who already did the crime? I think we as a society should try to care about kids and young people before they do atrocious crimes. But once they do it, it's about punishment. Prison isn't about like giving 1,000 chances to get it right. You don't get that when you're actually out there hurting people. Okay? Do you get that? My community, liberals, progressives, you don't get all those chances after you hurt people.
From somebody like this defendant, you are that person that can either let him walk out of this courtroom on probation with a piece of paper with conditions and promises that he won't resort to this kind of violence that you saw on that video, or you can ensure that the community is safe by putting him behind steel bars, concrete wall, and razor wire fence.
That's right.
Judge, I'm just asking. I'm not in the habit of begging, but on
Here,
behalf of the
beg,
community, I'm begging
beg.
that you sentence this defendant to prison. The message that needs to be sent to this defendant and his circle of friends
That's
and
right.
anybody who would want to be like this defendant is
Look at the body reaction. Well, see, he's not ready, and I get it. Y'all gonna keep saying he's young. How young do you need to be? How young is young when you're pulling big weapons and running up in stores, scaring and you know, like people could have had heart attacks, man. Like you don't bring big weapons and hold people and rob people. That's not acceptable. Little weapons, any weapons. This is not acceptable behavior. And this young man, he looked pretty big in that day. Like that day, he didn't look like a little. These are not 10-year-olds. These are not 11-year-olds. And even they are, to me, man. Once you get to about 12, 13, 14, man, I think you get grown man treatment personally. But I could even like understand if he was. This is almost a grown man, fully physically a grown man. He could do everything in society that a grown man does, and I believe he's over 18. I don't believe he's under 18. But they still, you see this trick? We're still calling people that are 17, 16, 17, 15, 16, 17, 8. We're acting like they're 8, 9, and 10. They're not. And this is some liberal, progressive, slash feminist type of philosophy to disrupt our communities while saying that they're doing it out of love for our communities. I can't reiterate that any more than I'm saying.
that if you pick up a gun with the intent to commit violence, you're
Yeah,
gonna pick up a 15, 20, 25-year prison
that's right.
sentence,
Yes,
Judge.
sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm just asking that you do this on behalf of people who live at the Pine Club apartments, who just want to live in peace, people who want to go take a walk at Rogers Park and not be robbed, and somebody that wants to stop at a Speedy Mart convenience store and pick up some snacks without becoming a victim of a robbery. That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you, prosecutor. You did a wonderful job there because someone has to speak for the victims. And guess what? This is what I keep trying to scream to to white liberals. Don't you realize that the victims are also the black people you claim to love? This young man is causing so much disruption in that community by just for what I'm hearing of his behavior and what I've seen of what he's shown us that keeping him around our communities is not in the best benefit of all the other little black kids. We keep them in school and classes. They're in there disrupting, causing trouble, fighting, gang banging, doing all kinds of. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I sound like an old man, and maybe I am. But even when I was their age, I never felt like that behavior was a good thing. I didn't act like this when I was that young man's age, and I came from the same socioeconomic background as him. The same, maybe worse. He probably had it better than I did. But I just did, maybe because I was raised with a grandmother who made me go to church. Maybe I was raised at least knowing the Bible and God. I don't like to believe that that was it. I think it's just my DNA. And then, yes, I know I take that back. My grandmother keeping me in certain environments. I was able to play the violin. Played in sports. I was dirt poor, living in the projects. I could have made many times. I had no money in my pocket, and I thought about things because everybody else in the hood was doing it. I could have ran with dudes like this guy, and we could have got money. But I always was smart enough to know that eventually, very soon, I would be in front of one of these judges. And back in my day, they were not like soft on crime. So I knew like, yo, one little mistake, bro, you was doing like 6, 7 years just for having having certain drugs in your pocket on you, man. Just that alone, not even violence, just that alone, they were gonna give you football numbers, sevens. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. So, Mr. Fontenette, there was a time some years ago that there really wasn't even a question. Everyone, state's attorneys were recommending youthful offenders, probation. Let's give everybody an opportunity. And things have just changed in such an incredibly dangerous way with young people doing what I just saw you do on that screen. I cannot imagine the fear that person had that was working in that store, that he now has just trying to go to work, make a living, and go home.
That's right.
And he has 3 people come in and not just grab a little quick something and run out,
Right.
but terrorize him
Right.
for quite some time,
Right.
pulling him around, yanking him around, putting guns in his face,
Right.
all three of you.
Real quickly, man, the judge said something powerful. She admitted. The judge, let me see if I could get on the screen a little bit. Can I get on the screen, people? Can I get on the screen? I don't know. Can I get on the screen a little bit? Yeah. The judge said something very powerful. She admitted that years ago we were given chances, second, third chances. And what happened? It didn't fix anything. It made things worse because what you tolerate, you multiply. And now there's a shift happening. I hope it is. I hope it is. I think that's why, most of the country rejected Kamala Harris and went the other way because we all know that the direction we're heading in is not going to be a good direction. Judges are starting to say enough. Now, not enough of them. We need to, like, I'll be honest, it's still not enough. Okay. And this is in Texas, which is, and I'm sure Texas and conservative states, they've always had that those harsh judges, but that needs to be universal, or at least throughout the whole country. You like certain judges can't be given probation over and over again. So hopefully, like this is going to move even into the liberal states as more victims are being added up. But I tell you, these Democrats, in my opinion, they will stick with the narrative no matter how many people fall. They will stick with the narrative. So they about to hit him with 25. I mean, well, let me let her finish telling it. Let me let her get going.
I also, in addition to the PSI, get jail incident reports. And you apparently like to fight and jump people, which is what's been happening in the jail. So it makes it very difficult for me to go, oh, this is somebody that's going to get out and behave, who can follow the rules, because you can't even follow the rules in jail.
That's right.
And the pre-sentence report shows that you're a high risk level, which tells me that after they've looked at everything,
That's right.
that
Nobody believes
you don't have,
bro.
unfortunately, a good likelihood of being successful if I were to put you on probation. And Mr. Coleman's right. We're tired
We're
of it.
tired of it.
And there's got to be something done. So in cause number 25, DCCR 1759, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And at this time, I'm going to find you guilty of aggravated robbery. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division.
I don't know if how many you can see in the background. The family's throwing fits in the background. You can see the judge eyes moving there. You can see the reaction by him. What did he think was going to happen here? We've done taught these people that these young criminals that they're going to get off light because they're young. Criminals adapt to the environment. They know the laws better than you stupid people out here making these laws.
Come on, here. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm handing you the trial court certification. This was not an agreement. You have some rights to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. You can talk to Mr. Rojas about any questions you have about that. I am making an affirmative finding of it, and I know you believe I think this is necessary. I hope that you go and you make things right. You can get out of prison. You're still going to be young and you can make your life better. That's going to be up to you. Okay. You can go back with the bailiff.
Okay. All right, everybody. The judge handed out justice. Finally, 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 a judge stood up. Okay. There's this thing going on where people are acting like accountability is some type of oppression. We keep acting like if a child does wrong, society must fix it, not the parent. You see all that outrage by the mother and the family in the back. What was the outrage when this young man was being created? Because as you heard, the judge said, even in jail, he's in there wilding out. You don't think he's probably been wilding out in middle school, high school, elementary school? This has been allowed. And I'm sorry, I wish there was a way to hold these parents accountable. But at some point, responsibility has to start at home. You can't just raise chaos, ignore discipline, reject structure, and then expect mercy from the system when it all collapses. That's not how this works. Now, the bigger picture of this, man, that 25-year sentence, man, it's bigger than one case. It's a signal, hopefully, that the era of automatic sympathy is ending. I pray it is. The era of accountability is returning. I pray that it is. And whether people like it or not, that's how order gets restored. Listen, this isn't about cruelty. It's about balance. It's about protecting people who follow the rules and not always worried about the ones who don't. Reminding everyone that your actions have consequences, no matter your age, no matter your story. This is the Gemini Lounge, man, and we just getting started, man. Look, we need a crime bill. We need to end this madness of letting these criminals, illegal immigrants, especially criminal ones, all kinds of detriments to society in every color, every flavor. Gemini Lounge, man, we out. Peace.